All right, everyone. Thank you for being super patient with us while we figure this out. Technical issues are, the unfortunate part of all these online interactions. Regardless, today is a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday. And thank you so much, Dr. Suman, for being with us. We understand we've bugged you enough and you have a super busy schedule. And thank you so much for still taking the time out to join us. And I think we can start, Keshav. So if you could share your screen now. Thank you so much.
So, you want me to share your slide now?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, let me just share it. Mugdha, can you please introduce the introduction slide and then we will share Dr. Suman's slides? Maybe then. No? Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
We are back with Dr. Suman. I think the slide is enough to, help people understand just how much work she's done. But we've had the fortune of meeting her recently. For the past few months, we've been visiting her in her office quite frequently, and she has been extremely gracious with, giving us time instead of an OPD that is there's truly no space. When we initially met her and she told us, Mukta, I cannot accommodate you. There's no space. I thought, ma'am, I can see so many chairs. I don't understand. And then, we actually went down to her OPD and there were, I think, 100 people at any point. And I was like, oh my God, how? Does she eat? Does she go back home? I don't understand. And then we were so guilty, asking her to still be a part of this webinar, but she's the best. So thank you, Dr. Suman, for, being super patient with us. And I think if we are ready, we can share the presentation
Yes,
now and start with.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry for this glitch, and thank you, Mugda, for such a beautiful introduction. And can we make it to slideshow? Is it?
Yeah, I
Ye-
think now it is
Yeah.
visible.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Please, hi, I'm Dr. Suman Karkwal and I work for ESIC. So today we have, I think, first of the webinar series, and I congratulate PAIR for doing this excellent work because it is the need of our, and why I'm saying so, we will come to it, we'll come to know about it in coming slides. Next, please. So, what constitutes head and neck cancer? I thought we will start with this. Okay, what do you mean by head and neck cancer? So, if you just a minute, if you see this figure, so the head and neck cancer is constituting the entire area of your mouth, which is oral cavity, then your nose, area behind your nose, which is called pharynx, a part of pharynx you can see when you open your mouth, we can see the tonsils, so it is oropharynx. Nasopharynx is the part behind the nose and below it. Also it includes paranasal sinuses, it includes our voice box, larynx, and also includes the salivary glands which produce sweat, and finally the thyroid. Now that doesn't mean next click please. Yeah. So these all things which we are shown in the first figure constitute head and neck cancer. But that does not mean that all head and neck cancers are having the same frequency of incidence. No, it's not like that. The majority of head and neck cancers occur only in the oral cavity. This is the picture of your mouth when we open it wide. So we have cancers of lip, we have cancers of tongue, we have cancers in the floor of mouth, we have cancers in these alveolus, we have it in the heart palate, which is called taluka cancer. So oral cavity is a part of head and neck cancer, but it constitutes the most important part, and we will know it why. Next please. Next slide. Now, why do we need to talk about head and neck cancers? Now, these two figures, these pictures, they are very gory. but they are not like AI generated or a figment of my imagination. This patient came to us 3 months back. This is in treatment with us now. Now, after showing these two pictures, I would like to just share because I'm not sure people know how ESI works. So ESI is I think, has the most structured healthcare system, if not in the world, at least in our country. We have a series of dispensaries. The dispensaries run both time, morning hours and evening hours. So the patients, the labor class, which is working in factories, can go there. And each dispensary, a group is attached to the hospital. For example, my hospital, we have 13 dispensaries. So we should expect the patient to come to the hospitals or to the dispensaries at the earliest. And this truly baffles me. What makes them wait this long? I mean, mouth, face, oral cavity is something which we kind of see it every day. So these type of programs, these webinars, the NGOs, the patient advocacy group, all are needed so we can sort this mess out. Next, please. Next slide. Yeah. Now, what has happened is that India has become the capital of oral cancers in the world. Not a very good this thing. This thing we never wanted to become, pioneers, leaders in having oral cancer, but that is the truth. When you come to the Globocane data, now what is Globocane? This is the International Association of Research on Cancer. They publish the incidences, the deaths, and the prevalence of cancers across the world. And this is the data of our country of 2022. Now you can see in both sexes, these are the two most common cancers, breast and lip and oral cavity. And if you go to the fine details, they are almost neck to neck. Next, please. Yeah, but when you come to male only data, you can see that lip and oral cavity is the most common cancer in males in India, which is a part of head and neck cancer I showed, followed by lung, followed by esophagus. And therefore, I really want to say that we are sitting in a time bomb, or it's a tsunami, which I don't know why we don't want to see. Maybe because it's a population, the type of population. I mean, most of the oral cavity cancers is in poor labor class patients. So whatever the reason, we really have to work on this before it becomes a time bomb. Next. Now, the point here is that yes, this situation can be tackled. We can have an early diagnosis. In fact, we can even prevent it. Why? Because it is one of the most accessible areas of the body. Now, what do you mean by early detection? Why do we need early detection? See, most of the solid tumors, the main treatment is surgery. So, early detection, small tumor means simpler surgeries. Cost is low. The doctor's time is less. Patient returns to normal life easily. Patient may not require post-surgery treatments. As you are aware, cancer treatments are of different type. And many time a patient requires all three. So may not require post-surgery treatments like radiotherapy or chemotherapy. The chances of recurrences are lower, means second time a cancer happening. The financial and the emotional burden to the patient, to the society, to any agency also is less. And that's where our role comes in unmasking a hidden neck cancer. Next. Now, what are the risk factors? We must know the risk factors so that we know how to tackle it. So, most common, and I would say if only one, it's tobacco, tobacco, and tobacco. And you just see how much tobacco. You please go to any bus stand, see those small khomchas, the shops there with beautiful colored, pouches of various sizes. You name it, we have it. All forms of tobacco are used, are legalized, even in our community in weddings. And you smoke, you chew, you snuff, everything, canny, to even toothpaste. There is a toothpaste called Gulmanjan, it has tobacco in it. So even tobacco in toothpaste. Alcohol is not actually a cause of oral head and neck cancer, but it aggravates it. I mean, it has a synchronous. It adds to it. Together, it becomes more lethal. Then it can be due to infections, human papilloma virus, the same virus which causes CA cervix. The type is different, but yes, same virus can cause your head and neck cancer. Here, the prognosis is better. If a patient has a cancer head and neck due to human papilloma virus versus a person with due to tobacco, the uh, this thing treatment and this thing is better when the patient has a human papilloma virus cancer. It is not that lethal. Another thing is a constant irritation due to, like, for example, sharp tooth. These are the causes in are non-smokers. Therefore, you must not neglect anything in your oral cavity. Daant dard kar raha hai, you just keep on, seeing it yourself. No, you must go and show it to a person who is authorized in dealing it. Now, there are certain genetic syndromes also which cause it. They are not very, very important, but yes, you have genetic causes like Fanconi anemia and disc keratosis congenita. Next. Okay. Okay, now you have some precancerous oral lesion, means you have certain lesions in a patient which are not cancer, but if left on their own over the time, they can become cancer. That's why it's important. First and foremost is oral leukoplakia. In simple language, a white patch. A white patch need to be shown to a qualified dentist so that if needed, he can take biopsy and start the treatment. Similarly, oral erythroplakia, which is red patch in the mouth. Then you have proliferative verrucous leukoplakia, another form of a white patch. Then you have palatal lesion of reverse smokers. See, in certain parts of our country like Karnataka and all, people smoke the bidi in opposite. I mean, the where it is lighted, that part goes in. More smoke, more. These people will start having cancers in their hard palate, talu. And these lesions also can lead to cancers. Next, please. Now, these are, I told you, the causes, the risk factors. If there are risk factors, definitely we will be having some preventive measures, right? So, again, tobacco, and tobacco. The most common, most modifiable risk factor for head and neck cancer has to be tobacco. And why we are not banning it, I really don't know. I mean, the amount of money the government is wasting on treating these cancers will be significantly higher than getting the money from producing and selling tobacco. Good oral hygiene. I told you, even if you are not smoking, you have a persistently, caries teeth, which is hitting your tongue persistently, years, that also can cause cancer. And healthy lifestyle, including eating our veggies, eating healthy food, no to packaged foods, no alcohol, all are definitive preventive measures, in fact, for almost all the cancers. Next slide, please. Coming to this, I'm really sorry for my voice today. I mean, we can blame it on Delhi pollution. And so now coming to signs and symptoms, oral cancer, what are the most common symptoms and sign? So if you have any ulcer in the lip or the mouth, which is not getting healed within the 2 weeks frame of mind, please, it must be checked. If there are healthcare professionals seeing this program, then they also, it should not be ignored, neither by patient, neither by, nowadays, I think oral cavity examination is also a part of national control program for chronic diseases and cancer prevention, NCPDS, and you have ASHA workers. So if they are also watching it, these things, 2 weeks is the only frame of mind. Any crusty area, any rough spots on your gums, lips, inside your mouth, get them shown. I'm not saying they are cancer. I'm just saying please get it checked. Any pain, tenderness, numbness in your face, neck, or mouth, which is without any reason. Because as I showed you in the first figure, there are so many areas of head and neck which are hidden inside the nose, in the sinuses, behind the nasal cavity. They will produce these type of symptoms. So goes difficulty in chewing, swallowing. Any mass hair can cause these type of symptoms. Speaking or moving your jaw or tongue if you're having pain, that also can be. Then unintentional weight loss, earache, chronic bad breath. There comes the importance of a good oral hygiene. These symptoms are not a sign of cancer by themselves, but these symptoms should be investigated, should be shown. They can be signs. That's what I'm meaning. Next, please. Now coming to, this is the slide for any healthcare provider, any NGO which is dealing with early cancer detection in masses, in groups, in villages. We must have 8 steps for cancer detection if the patient comes to us. This is screening basically. It is not cancer detection. We can say screening. What is now a part of national control program. First and foremost, you lift the upper lip, this is part A, and see inside, the part between the teeth, the pink part, this is called gingiva. See in the gingiva, see in the mucosa behind the upper lip. Second is, feel inside the lip. Feel inside the lip. Can you see? If you're not able to see, can you feel any mass? Third thing, you see the buccal mucosa. That is the mucosa, inner part of our cheek. See for any lesion. Then lower part, yani you just open the lower lip, see the lower lip and the gingiva. Then you check the hard palate. Then you press the tongue with a tongue depressor or an ice cream stick. See the tonsil, okay? Then you ask the patient to roll his tongue up, see the floor of mouth, see the undersurface of tongue. Finally, you feel the lateral border of tongue. Believe me, these are the only 8 steps you have to take. And the third picture I showed you, sorry, I don't have the control in my hand, so I'll have to just refer. The third picture I showed you of those locally highly advanced cancer will not happen. We will be able to detect it a bit too early. Next, please. Now, now we have diagnosed. We have diagnosed that person is having a oral cavity or maybe a CA oropharynx or larynx, whatever. He or she is having a head and neck cancer. Now, what is the management? The management of an head and neck cancer is actually a truly multidisciplinary approach. We need lot of people. We need a counselor. To be very frank, yes. A counselor is needed because the treatment is difficult. Rehabilitation is difficult. There are a lot of emotional, physical issues involved, which a doctor might not be able to resolve all on its own. We need a surgeon, a cancer surgeon. We need a dentist. And ideally, before the treatment is started, patient should be referred to a dentist for dentition. Why? Because if the patient starts on the treatment, he embarks on the treatment, post-surgery, he requires radiotherapy, we will not be able to tackle his dental problem at least minimum for 2 years post radiotherapy. So you need a dietitian, you need counselors. So there are a lot of people. It's a truly multidisciplinary approach. What are the goals of our treatment? Goals are patient should be cured of cancer. So then head and neck area is such that it is important for speech. It is important for mastication. It is important for swallowing. So if we want our patient to go back to the society, be a fruitful part of the society for his family, we need restoration of his speech. For example, in CA larynx, a voice box cancer, you need to restore his speech. Mastication in a oral cavity, a mandible bone oral cavity cancer, the patient should be able to chew his food. And third part, he should be able to swallow. If a man or woman is not able to swallow her own saliva, there is no point in the treatment. And also our goals are to reduce the morbidity associated with the treatment. No treatment should be more morbid than the disease itself. So in a nutshell, because this is not a totally medical webinar, there's no point going into the details. The head and neck cancer has three modalities of treatment. You have surgery and radiotherapy as one. These are local treatments. Some cancers need only radiotherapy. For example, CA larynx, early stages, only radiotherapy is needed, no surgery, no chemotherapy, so that we restore his speech. Certain cancers require only surgery. For example, oral cavity cancers, only surgery. A patient is coming with early stage, stage 1, stage 2, surgery is enough. He might not need any further treatment. And however, advanced cancer need all three at different stages of the cancer. So this is next slide, please. That's it. Just stop now. So now, why I just hold on. Why I'm asking this slide? Choose your heroes wisely. This I'm done with the medical part of the treatment. Why I have gone to now this 2 months. First, I had an invite for a talk on breast cancer, and to my surprise, the invite came from a degree college. The invite was from a degree college for chemistry students, first year, second year, third year, their staff, everything. And I was so surprised that I asked them, why? What made you think about it? And they said, because Hina Khan had this cancer. So, we have two cancers in our community in India, which are the topmost cancers right now. You have a breast cancer, you have a head and neck cancer. Look what the breast cancer people have chosen their heroes. Their heroes are Angelina Jolie. When she opened up about her fight from heredity, familial history of breast cancer, she opened the entire world to the patients, to the people. Everybody came to know that breast cancer can be familial, we can be prevented, and how. Similarly, all these celebrities, Hina Khan, any other, whenever they have talked about breast cancer, every female has been worried. If she's so young, she can. We may be. Let's talk about it. Let's know about it. How can we prevent it? What is the screening? But look what we have chosen. We means head and neck group. We have chosen our heroes. This guy, Amitabh Bachchan, Kamla Pasand, tobacco. This guy, Ajay Devgan, tobacco. And what they are propagating? Bolo Zuban Kesari. Excuse me, this is not Kesari. Tobacco doesn't give you a Kesari Zuban. It gives you a Canceri Zuban. Am I right or wrong? So what makes them, what forces them to do this this is actually, if I don't mince my word, pushing people to cancer. Why do they need this kind of money? And here, patient advocate groups, NGOs, we all have to take actions. Name and shame. Somewhere it has to stop, because really, if you want to, if this webinar has been even 1% valuable to you, only one take home message I am telling you: tobacco. It is the root cause of all ill at present in our society, and it's so easily available, anybody. And look at how they are doing it. 1 rupee gutka pouch, 5 rupee gutka pouch, patient doesn't even feel hurt. He has to just spend some 5-10 rupees. So that's where the webinars like this can help, because you are reaching to so much diverse population, unlike we doctors, and you can talk about it. Next slide, please. That's it. Thank you for your kind attention. And yes, I'm open to questions. And I hope I have been able to, be useful.
I suppose, thank you for the lovely presentation, by the way. It was so simplistic and so comprehensive that, we all hear about cancer all the time, but to truly understand every part of it is something that people don't take seriously, because cancer, the word has been spoken so much.
Right.
desensitization has happened. People don't take it seriously anymore. And, sessions like this are really important to bring it back to light and show everyone how important it is and how bad it can be if people don't
Yes.
take care of it. So I think, ma'am, one of the most important questions that have been asked is people don't understand what exactly cancer is. What happens in the body? They understand cancer is a disease, but how bad is it? What happens to the body? Maybe if that is something you can explain.
See, what cancer is, you can, in a nutshell, you can see, for example, there is a soldier who fights battle for his country. And what if the soldier goes rogue? He sells himself for money. Then he starts killing anybody. And that's what happens in our body. When the cancer happens, our own cells go rogue. They keep on multiplying, they keep on multiplying. Normally we have a process. A cell has a finite life, for example, like we have a finite life. Similarly, the cells have a finite life. Now these cells become rogue. They develop mechanism whether it can be genetic, it can be environmental like pollutions, it can be due to things like tobacco and alcohol. And these cells then stop listening to the body. They do not die, they keep growing. They take everything which is meant for other parts of body, and they keep dividing and dividing and finally killing everything. So this is in nutshell, in the most simplistic way I can say, is cancer. When your own cells become rogue.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we talk a lot about how tobacco is the main cause for cancer. So, can you tell us how tobacco causes this multiplication? What does it do to the body that is so harmful?
Tobacco has lot of things in it. In addition to tobacco, the betel nut we use, the erica nut, which is so common even in our families, in northeast areas of India, it is a part of culture. And these together, adding a pan, a betel, and thoda sa, tambaku, and have it. Everybody is having it. I mean, so what happens is there are a lot of ingredients in tobacco itself which can change the pH of the mouth, and it can, and then it causes a damage which can progress. And mind you, tobacco does not just cause head and neck cancer, because if it is going from your mouth to your, if you're eating tobacco, it's going from your mouth to your GIT, to your stomach, the entire area where it goes, it changes the mucosa. It changes the mucosa. That is the lining of the organs. And it can cause cancers there also. Therefore, these patients get a second cancer. Within 5 years, there is a very high risk. If you have an oral cancer, within 5 years, you might get a cancer under the site. It can be a lung cancer, or it could be cancer esophagus, upper GIT, or it can be tongue. So they not just affect only the oral cavity, oral mucosa. This is called field cancerization, the effect.
Okay. So people are asking, is there any natural remedy to prevent oral cancer?
Yeah, I told so many. One is stop tobacco. One is stop tobacco. That is the most important. Second thing is a healthy oral hygiene. Oral dental hygiene is very important. And in India, we have a habit of neglecting dental caries and all. That also, chronic infection itself can be a cause of this thing. And so these are the avoiding alcohol. So these are the main things. And coming back to what natural thing you can use is a healthy diet, adding, leafy vegetable, all those vitamin, antioxidants, amla, and all that stuff. These are the ways that can boost your immunity. So both ways it has to work. It has to work by you being proactive and not taking. See, I think I should have shared a slide like this. There is a new study which has come. How many cigarettes you are smoking without being a smoker? In Delhi, we are smoking 40 cigarettes per day. This is the new study. So even without being smoker or having touched tobacco, we are having the effect of it. Why to add on it? Why to add on it, I am asking. But the thing is, I still feel that people are changing, but this tobacco part of it is still has become a huge problem for the lower socioeconomic class, the class which works for, which actually is the backbone of our country, of our factories, the labor class. They have long hours, they have worst working hours, and they have to continue working 12 hours or they'll not get the pay. So what do? So easy. एक मुंह में डाल लिया, चबाते रहे, काम करते रहे. So these are the things.
You have, you have so many patients. So do you have any success story that you can share with us of someone who came to your hospital early and
Yes, I have. If I had known the success stories to be shared, I would have. There are so many. There are few patients I would like to know. One, the guy, his name is Nitin. He's a labor class worker, and he came to us with oral cancer. He was locally advanced, but not stage 4. Means the disease is not spread. So we had to remove his half part of his mandible. This whole thing, half part we had to remove, do the reconstruction, radiotherapy. The guy went back. I think we did it in 2019. The guy went back to his work. After 1.5 years, he develops spread to his lung. Okay. He's young guy. I think he's 38. And to be very frank, even we were not very positive. We started him on chemotherapies and he is disease free. He's going back to his work again. Then I have an old man. He also has the same story. He developed a huge mass in the lung. In fact, it even broke through his, the collarbone and rib. And some neurologist advised him ki surgery. I said nothing. You cannot get us repeat surgery for this done. We had put him on chemotherapy. Now he comes back from his village every 3-4 years and he's perfectly fine. So we do have success and innumerable patients who have come to us in early stages and they are treatment free and going back to job. So we do have lot of patients who give us this, kind of force, or you can say drive to keep working on what we are doing.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think for people, a lot of the times, why they don't go to doctors is because of this mentality, that thing that happened in COVID, right? If we don't get tested, we don't have COVID. So it's
Yeah.
the same thing. If I don't go to the hospital, then I can pretend like I don't have cancer. And I know that when I say this, I probably will have the same reaction. If I get a blister on my mouth, I will think chala jayega kuch dinon mein. It's okay. Let me just apply some mucopain and it will go away. I will also hesitate because nobody thinks that they are the ones who get the disease, right? We all want to be healthy. We don't want to be the person who ends up in the hospital. But it is extremely important to understand that just one trip can save 10 other or 20 other or a lifetime of trips, and it's all worth it. Just one test is all worth it. I think that's the
You're
takeaway.
absolutely right in that. And in this, I will talk about my own mom. My own mom, I told her someday, I said, Mama, show it to a doctor. I myself a doctor, but she listened. I said, show it. She said, nahi, Suman, there's no point. He will diagnose something. But then think, ki if I go, it's not that. Doctors do not diagnose something which is not there in your body. You have gone to them, then it has been diagnosed. You had it with you. So and there are many patients here. I'll take this thing. Many patients say, no, it was a very small ulcer, and then he took a tukda janch and all that, and now it has become like this. It's not like this. It's not. Biopsy helps only in diagnosing your cancer. It does not, without biopsy, we will not be able to diagnose. So please don't be scared. This is like, a pigeon in front of a cat, just closing his eyes, saying that I can't see the cat, so cat won't kill me. It's not like this. So you must, I think it's wiser to show it to somebody, and please, it has to be a person who is qualified in his
Yes.
job.
Are there any questions that you can think that we as civilians who don't understand the technical terms of medical, and we get very scared कि they'll take buccal biopsy or even any other part of the body काट के ले जाएंगे. Are there any questions that we can ask a doctor to help them help us in return? What are good
Just
questions
just
to ask?
I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting. Can you come later? Yes. So, no, the questions which you can ask is, I think this is the most important. I'm telling you, na, that if it is me, most of the patients who come, who say this is that, अगर छेड़ा तो बढ़ जाएगा. This is a common misconception among patients.
Mm.
It's not like this. If we do not know, see, cancer is not one type. The term is cancer. There is various types. We need to know to start. And then this fear I think has to go, because I have shown you, see, this is, we always see our face. Everybody has a mirror. If not at home, I really cannot think anybody with no mirror. But you have it in buses, metros. You can see a routine check of your mouth, of your neck, all can easily.
Okay, I think the next question is tobacco alternatives, healthier alternatives, I suppose.
Of healthier alternatives of.
Tobacco.
Oh my, no, see, again, I am a I am a qualified tobacco cessation specialist also. So anybody who's addicted to tobacco can go for tobacco cessation. Otherwise, healthy alternative, what we have come to know, these patients who are chewers, especially those who chew, have this habit. They get into the habit of chewing. You can take क्लव्स लौंग ले सकते हैं, इलायची, सौंफ और lozenges. And then if you really have a tobacco addiction, then you can go for a proper help where nicotine patches, nicotine gums all are given, so that you do not have the craving, to slow down the craving.
A lot of people start taking tobacco and start smoking because it is sort of an instant relief from whatever pressure or stress or realities of life. So, is there any other way that you would suggest people can cope with the difficulties that they face every day instead of?
Yes, definitely. There are so many, and it starts from your own yoga,
Mm.
your pranayams, deep breathing exercises, pranayams, yoga. These are the most important things which you can. And to hit a bottle or to take a smoke is no nothing. And it does not actually, to be very frank, it does not decrease your stress. It is just our misconception. It gives you a high and you become used to that. For example, the workers who are working 12 hours, 14 hours, one thing it helps is that it doesn't make them feel tired or sleepy. So
Mm.
in that case, it is a combined effort. I mean, we should have a better workplaces where you can have those breaks where people can go for tea or a coffee or something. And it needs lot of, it can we cannot say ki just stop tobacco. That person needs lot of support.
Absolutely. So I think the key takeaways are that, we all understand what needs to be done. However,
Yes,
the reality of the situation is whether we choose to do it or not.
yes,
Every time someone looks at a packet, they know it causes a cancer. Every time someone smokes, they know that it may end up in, it may turn them into a hospital visit. People think, is it going to happen to me, kitna percent chance hai, I don't know, I don't care, because right now I'm in bigger trouble. Right now if I don't get a relief, I will feel bad, but maybe I might get cancer, maybe I might not get cancer. So people choose to live in the moment, they try to solve the in the moment problem, and they don't understand how big of an impact it can have long.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
so
actually.
for everyone in the room in this webinar, I think the key takeaway is that we do understand that, there are difficulties, that the system is not perfect, that a lot of advocacy needs to go into place. But at least we as smart people can make a smarter choice every single day to expose ourselves lesser and lesser to things that can lead us to cancer. The way ma'am said that there's so much pollution, we are probably smoking 44 cigarettes a day without even wanting to. So why to add another?
Right.
If we can chew on healthier, elaichi or something else, why to chew on tobacco? Just because it's a habit we are not able to get rid of. But we are grown up people, we are in control of our body, and if we really want to change something, then we can.
And I'll just put, like I tell my patients, when you take that packet of gutka, is it not the pic like you is there in it? There is always a picture. It doesn't scare you at all. Another thing we can say is like that 5 rupees, you can buy at least 2 eggs or an egg and have it. It's nutritious. So somewhere I think, lot has to be done from our part also. We in it as together. And yes, that's it. Yeah.
Small changes for a healthier future. Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. Thank
I think we have lost you.
I think
Can you? Yeah,
it has.
yeah, yeah. Now I can hear.
yeah,
Uh,
you are back.
I'm
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think so.
I think the internet gods are telling us to wrap this up.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Okay,
so.
just as I was saying, thank you everyone for being here. And this has been very informative. And I hope, every small step leads to a better change. And we'll keep on doing this. We'll keep on advocating. Thank you so much, ma'am, for, giving us your time. And I hope everyone in this room had a good time as well. And we have something to take away from today's discussion.
Thank you so much to both of you, and thank you to the listeners and the viewers. And I hope we have, done a positive impact to all those who are listening to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so much, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
you.